Produced by J.J. Abrams, Cloverfield is known as one of the most intriguing sci-fi anthology series, and it first caught the audience's eye when the films were linked together through viral marketing websites. Soon enough, the film series had turned into a full-fledged franchise set within the fictional Cloververse, and some fans wondered if John Krasinski's 2018 horror film, A Quiet Place, was also set in this same universe. The latter's plot was set in a post-apocalyptic world filled with blind monsters, and there were many shared Easter eggs and creative design parallel that made fans wonder if The Quiet Place was the fourth installment in the Cloverfield franchise. Today, we'll explore these theories in detail and tell you all about the similarities and potential connections between the two. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Creature design parallels. Set in the future, A Quiet Place was based on the premise that humanity had been destroyed by blind, otherworldly monsters who could hunt their prey down with their super-sensitive hearing. The story follows the Abbott family as they try to keep themselves safe on an isolated farm and make as little noise as possible to survive these monsters that had already taken away one of their children. This aligns with the overarching Cloverfield narrative that monsters had taken control over the planet, as we see several newspaper clippings assembled by Krasinski's character, Lee Abbott. He had been searching for a way to kill these monsters, and the new articles suggest that they had popped up from above and invaded Earth, thereby confirming that they were alien entities. These features align with the monsters introduced in the Cloverfield universe, first created by J.J. Abrams and Matt Reeves. Shot in a found footage style, the Cloverfield movie features a towering alien that falls from space and soon goes on a rampage across New York City. In a surprise sequel titled 10 Cloverfield Lane, Michelle fights off similar but smaller aliens in Louisiana, and fans believed that these creatures shared some features with the ones in A Quiet Place. The towering alien in the original Cloverfield movie was especially quite similar to the creatures in A Quiet Place, and they both had features such as long front legs that made it easier to attack and shorter back legs that allowed them to balance their bodies. Both these creatures also moved around pretty fast, and the one in A Quiet Place uses its front legs to attack its prey in the same way that the Clover uses its legs to grab buildings and rip them apart. Moreover, they also have venom-like mouths, teeth, and lanky appendages. Even though the creature in A Quiet Place is way smaller than the Clover, both these aliens share the same MO as they invade landscapes and spread terror in an atmosphere of mystery. In addition to these physical comparisons, both films share a similar mysterious tone as these monsters lurk around before finally catching their prey off guard in a game of hide and seek. These films were built on quiet terror and lurking monsters, and A Quiet Place especially has similarities with 10 Cloverfield Lane, which was also set in a post-apocalyptic world where Michelle lived in a bunker with a psychopath after being told that the planet's surface had become inhabitable. Both these movies also end on an explosive note as they get rid of these aliens and kill them near cornfields, which seem to be another coincidence that supports theories of these films being set in the same universe. Ultimately, A Quiet Place shares the Cloververse's sci-fi formula where humanity struggles to survive against alien invaders, and there are far too many common denominators that put these films in the same box. Moreover, the Cloverfield paradox introduced a rift that could open up alternate realities with different Earths and aliens, thereby setting the perfect premise for A Quiet Place to be integrated into this universe. Shared universe Easter eggs. Even before the release of A Quiet Place, there were several theories linking it to the Cloverfield movie. Even though Krasinski's film had maintained that it was an independent production, some fans believe that being a part of the Cloververse can explain some ambiguous lore in A Quiet Place, such as the origins of the monster. When the Cloverfield paradox introduced alternate realities and the possibility that monsters can fall from one parallel universe to the other, fans pointed out that this made more sense while explaining A Quiet Place's monsters. While the film had an entire meteor origin story for these creatures, the idea that they originated in a parallel universe and accidentally fell into this reality made more sense. Moreover, fans justified this by saying that humans tend to search for logical explanation, which is why their origins were linked to a meteor plot, even though the parallel reality theory feels more consistent and in line with the premise. Another Easter egg scene, where Lee compiles information about the creature on a board in A Quiet Place, links the movie to the Cloververse. He seems to have collected several newspaper clippings and articles about the creature's features and weaknesses, wherein one article advises the public to get underground. This suggests that the creature might be similar to the one in 10 Cloverfield Lane, wherein most of the movie takes place in Howard's bunker. While some fans might point out discrepancies in the two franchises' lore, this has not been a problem in the Cloverfield franchise. When 10 Cloverfield Lane was announced as a spiritual successor to the original film, it was eventually tied together with the Cloverfield paradox, which established the idea of a parallel universe, Through a reality warping event, the Cloverfield franchise expanded across an entire multiverse, making it possible for A Quiet Place to be included in this franchise despite having some differences. Production and behind-the-scenes connection. As it turns out, A Quiet Place's writers, Scott Beck and Brian Woods, did see some potential for A Quiet Place to be integrated into the Cloverfield franchise. However, the film's producers, Brad Fuller and Andrew Form, had no idea about these intentions, and they considered these films to be entirely different creations. They even laughed about it when they first heard these theories, and they eventually realized that these connections went away with the release of a new Cloverfield film. Interestingly, there was a BTS connection between the two films, as John Krasinski was initially considered to act in the Cloverfield paradox. While he eventually dropped out of this, he was soon attached to A Quiet Place, and fans took this as proof that this film was concurrently being developed to be a part of the franchise as well. Fan theories and speculative lore. Most fan theories link A Quiet Place to 10 Cloverfield Lane, as they share several monster similarities, as well as themes. For instance, the trailer in A Quiet Place highlights some giant claw marks on a wall going up the staircase, and these marks look eerily similar to those of the biomechanical, technical spaceship that had tried to devour Michelle by the end of 10 Cloverfield Lane. In another such instance, a child accidentally sets off an electric toy in A Quiet Place, and John Krasinski's character immediately distracts the incoming monster by separating from his family and running off. In the sequence set in a forest, we see a black creature following him on all fours, which strikingly looks like the Jaguar alien in the Cloverfield franchise. There are also instances where we see an organic tendril in A Quiet Place, which looks strikingly familiar as the creatures from the spaceship in 10 Cloverfield Lane. Finally, some fan theories suggest that Molly from the Cloverfield paradox might be related to the family in A Quiet Place, and that she was separated from them when the Shepherd launched on the Cloverfield station. Of course, these are all just theories. And let us have a look at what the studio had to say about these overlapping stories, counter-arguments, and studio decision. The speculation regarding A Quiet Place being a part of the Cloverfield franchise first started with the trailer, and it was further confirmed when the creators revealed that it was a spec script pitched to Paramount. While there were initial talks of merging this script with the Cloverfield franchise, Paramount saw that the script had the potential to become huge on its own and decided to keep it separate. While it's fun to come up with theories that link the two, it is for the best that this horror movie was released on its own, without being linked to the monsters in the Cloverfield installments. The Quiet Place's entities became far more terrifying and enhanced the horror experience. Marvelous verdict. While Paramount wisely decided against introducing A Quiet Place as a fourth Cloverfield installment, there's no denying that there are several similarities and Easter eggs that link these two horror hits. At the end of the day, this decision did wonders for A Quiet Place, as it established itself as one of the best-made post-apocalyptic horror movies in recent times, and it would not have been appreciated as much if it had been linked to an existing franchise. Nevertheless, we hope you enjoyed exploring these theories with us, and we would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, and be safe. Thanks, everyone.